We good on sound? Yeah. Those kids from Grace, I'm assuming?
What? Testing.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing. Are we good? Testing.
Testing, 1. One last Geisman ride for the Concordia men's basketball team, which tonight takes its home floor for the 13th and final time this season. The past few weeks have tested the Cougars, who have dropped 4 straight. But in a few minutes, they face a chance against NAC rival Marian to close this year's home circuit with a W. The Cougars and the Sabres right around the corner here on the CUC Sports Network. And welcome on in, everyone. So happy to have you along for the ride. I'm Sam Brief with my guy Carter Gledhill. Carter, our final home game this year for the Concordia men's team, and last time the Cougars got together with Marian, it was when we were prepping our turkeys back at the end of November. It was up in Marian in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, a 100-75 win for the Cougars. Seems like it's time to recapture some of that late November magic, yeah?
Yeah, it does. I mean, the Cougars right now are in a stretch where they've lost 10 of their last 11 games, as you alluded to before. They're on a 4-game losing streak. Really, they haven't had the same swagger, as you could say, as we've seen at the beginning of the year when they were rolling high as the underdogs in the NAC. now out of playoff contention, the Cougars have the chance here in their final home game at Geisman to really put a show on for the fans one last time in this 2019-2020 season.
An interesting note about that November 23rd win for Concordia. That was a 25-point domination of Marian, who's tonight's opponent. Rashawn Amos scored just 3 points in that game. He'll certainly try and score more than 3 tonight. He's got double figures in his last 19, and he is essential to a Cougar win.
He is. I mean, 2 games after that, that's when he started that huge streak. But Amos has really been leading the team. He's averaging about 17 points a game, and he's been the focal point of this whole offense that's run through Coach Kohler. And it's really exciting to see the transfer come in here and really leave his mark on his last chance here in Geisman and really revamp this whole Cougars team that's seen an offensive lull in the past couple seasons we've been around them.
Let's take a look at this Marian team. For all the talk about Concordia's struggles in the last couple weeks, Cougars have lost 4 in a row. Marian is at the bottom of the NAC. They're last in the NAC standings. The Sabres coming into this one 4-19 with just 3 conference wins. They've lost 8 of 9 and 2 in a row. Under first-year head coach Drake Diener, it's been a struggle for the Sabres, but they've got a couple guys you certainly have to lock down, and it all starts with Justin Wilson.
Yeah, the big man, I mean, scoring about 11 points a game. He leads the team in rebounds with about 5 a game, and he's going to be a key component in the Cougars trying to win this game tonight because only one other player on the Sabres team, DeAndre Ross, who's not a starter tonight, averages double digits in games. So if the Cougars are going to want to be able to win the night in Geisman, it's going to take the Cougars being able to stop Justin Wilson and then DeAndre Ross coming off the bench.
Late game execution has been something to watch for Concordia recently. Struggles at the free throw line. The margin of defeat in the last 3 games is fewer than 5 points.
And all of it, it's been attributed to their poor free throw shooting. After their loss against Dominican, they only made 7 of their 14 free throws. And that's the 3rd game in a row for CUC that they've shot under 60% from the charity stripe. So coming in the late games, that was a game that the Cougars were able to dominate for most of the part of the game. It just turned out to be that the last 6 minutes of the River Forest rivalry game that we saw, they didn't perform as well as we'd like from behind the arc. So tonight it's going to be especially important if they want to debunk that tendency we've seen so far and get really going into the last couple games of the season.
National anthem time here at Geisman. We'll take a pause on the Cougar Sports Network. Basketball right around the corner. Can you hear us now? This year against the Marian Sabres. Tuesday night in action for you here on the Cougar Sports Network, and we really appreciate you joining us. Sam Brief, Carter Gladhill. Let's first meet the starting lineups, and then we'll hear Carter's keys to the game. Starting with the Sabres, Julian Lynch, a senior guard, will make the start alongside Blake Pedron, freshman forward. Justin Wilson, the points per game leader for the Sabres, 11. That's what he scores. Junior out of Plainfield, Illinois will start alongside Scott Paulus, a Belgium-Wisconsin native at 6'5", and Trenton Faust, a 6-foot guard out of Racine, Wisconsin. That's the starting five for Drake Diener's Marian Sabres. And for Coach Steve Kohler in his first season at the helm for Concordia, his starting lineup in the home finale for 2020 looks like this. Rashawn Amos, senior transfer from Blackburn, St. Louis native, makes the starting guard alongside a fifth-year senior guard, Zio Golding. Florida native, joined by a freshman in the backcourt, Brent Hatton, who put up 19 points last time he faced off against Marian. And then Neil O'Donnell, senior guard, making his final start here at Geisman alongside a sophomore sharpshooter in Isaac Rudell, a Michigan native. So that's the starting five for both sides. Just about ready to roll, but Carter, let's hear a key or two for tonight's contest.
Well, one thing that's really been a defining factor of this Concordia team has been the three-point shot. They've had it in their first meeting against Marian all the way back in November. They set their season high of 60% field goal three-point percentage on the year, converting 33 of their 55 shots. Now, this is going to be a team that's going to have to reestablish that margin again, because we've seen a lull in their attempts at shooting, especially with one of the top shooters in Isaac Rudell hasn't shooted a lot of shots tonight. But look for guys like Brett Hatton and Rudell, even Amos, to come out strong tonight and reestablish that three-point shooting.
Trying to go out on top, close the Geisman circuit with a win. What would that mean, Carter? I mean, with all the struggles recently, it's a team that's lost 4 in a row, 10 of 11 overall. But just to finish your home season with a win, have the fans go home happy, yeah?
I think it's super important to finish your game strong, especially in your home court. I was talking to Charlie Resnikoff, who a good buddy of mine, I mentioned him a couple times on the broadcast, and he said that he was kind of disappointed at how the season went. It wasn't what he expected when he came in, and they were thinking of playoff hopes. But, again, he talked to me and said that they have an opportunity tonight to still go out with a good bang in front of a good crowd here in Geisman tonight with the home win against a team that they know they can dominate.
Last time these two faced off, November 23rd, it was a 25-point domination for Concordia. Brent Hatton put up 19 points, drained 5 trays. Here we go, Zio Golding against Scott Paulus. Advantage Golding underway between the Cougars and the Sabres. Some Tuesday night in action in the Geisman finale for 2020. Amos, Rudell, Hatton, O'Donnell, and Golding. That's the 5 on the court right now. It's Golding handing off to Amos. Rashawn to the corner. Top of the circle now. He bounces for Golding. Zio nearly got his pocket picked. Adjusts. Here comes the double team. Just 5 to shoot. Hoists it up and misses. It's Marian ball.
And see there, that was a good take by Golding to the paint. It just so happened that the Sabres were able to contest him, and he really couldn't find an escape outlet and get the ball out, so you got that chucked up shot.
Here are the Sabres on offense, the worst offensive team in the NAC. They score just 65 points a game. Inside there missing is Wilson. Got his own board, and he bangs it off the glass. Nice recovery.
And that's one thing that the Cougars have struggled with in these games, has been coming out really fiery and starting and making sure the opponent doesn't get into it too fast, because, you know, these Sabres haven't had the season that they wanted to, finishing in the bottom of the NAC, but they still want to have another chance at getting into a NAC opponent and want some revenge on the Cougars.
Here's O'Donnell in his final home game. He misses the layup. And now quickly the other way, here come the Sabres. Faust in the corner, whips it outside for Pedrin. He'll reset the Sabre offense. Pedrin over to Paulus, top of the key. Paulus with those long locks. Finds Faust, Trenton Faust. Crossover to the hoop, misses. He was fouled. He'll head to the line. That's Trenton Faust, a senior. One of 2 seniors in the starting lineup alongside Julian Lynch. Faust out of Racine, Wisconsin, leading the team in minutes. He's been a workhorse this year, shooting it at a nearly 50% clip from behind the arc and over 70 from the free throw line, where he drains the first. And now a trio of new Cougars onto the court. Charlie Resnikoff, the aforementioned, Jaron Gaddy, and Kenta Jones. All hit the hardwood, where the Cougars now trail 4-0.
And you can see Coach Kohler right now talking to O'Donnell and all the other guys on the bench and talking, because that's the game plan. He wanted a different idea of what he wanted the game to start as, and obviously he wasn't happy with what they're doing.
And here's the first test from the free throw line for Concordia. Last time out against Dominican, Cougars just 7 for 14 from the free throw line. It's been a struggle recently. Amos, though, one of the bright spots.
Leading the team with about 77% free throw percentage on the season. Giving a little hope right now for the Cougars. Hopefully ready to knock down the second one.
He does. 4-2 in the early going. Marian against Concordia. Here's Pedron down the court, defended by the 5'7" Kenta Jones, a senior playing his final home game. Faust to the hoop. Up strong, he missed. Amos cleans up the glass. Outlet pass to Gaddy. Jaron pulls it out. Hatton, quick trigger, 3. Bit strong. Rebound, out of bounds. Off to Marian. So tonight we get a matchup of first-year head coaches, at least at their respective schools. Steve Kohler, in his first season at the helm for Concordia, came over after a 4-year run as the head coach at fellow D3 school Blackburn University down in St. Louis. And on the other side, Drake Diener, head coach for Marian in his first season with the Sabres. He actually came over from a place a bit farther away than St. Louis. That one's stuffed. Resnikoff will have 2 from the free throw line. Drake Diener from Italy.
Oh boy.
Spent the last 12 seasons as a professional player in Serie A over in Italy. And Coach Diener was actually the all-time leading scorer in that league. So an Italian basketball legend who originally came from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, which is where Marian is located. So now he's back at home coaching. Spent his college years at DePaul. He was the all-time leading three-point shooter for the Blue Demons before he went on to play in Italy. His nickname there was Il Drago, because his name, Drake, sounds kind of like that.
I like that. That sounds good. It's a catchy one.
Jackson Gaddy Resnikoff missed the 3. Wilson the board for Marian. So a quick transition for Drake Diener from player to head coach. That's a sharp transition as his guy Lynch misses the tray. This is Jackson Gaddy, twin brother of Jaron. And a turnover for the Cougars. Justin Wilson the other way, coast to coast, pretty smooth. Marian on top.
So already out of the gate, we've seen the Cougars having a little bit of a struggle here with communication, but they're not able to run their scheme right now. As you see, Coach Kohler is doing a lot more coaching than we've seen in previous games because the Sabres are applying a lot more pressure.
Hatton misses his second 3. He was the hot hand back on November 23rd when the Cougars just dismantled Marian. 19 points for Hatton. And now Wilson with the 3. Marian dominating so far.
And think about it, the Cougars haven't hit a field goal yet. They've only hit the free throws. So it's definitely something the Cougars want to get going is their offensive scheme right now. And Coach Kohler's going to rely on his plays and his pick and rolls to get the Cougars going.
But that's definitely a bright spot. 4 for 4 from the free throw line in the early going since Concordia really has struggled in that category.
Well, it's give and take, too, because you think you want to knock down a field goal first.
No dice that time or that time. Hatton. This time, no. Rebound to Paulus. Sabres controlling the tempo in the early going. Marian on top, 9-4. Blake Pedron whips it out. Pass intercepted by Gaddy. Here's Jaron Gaddy. Left-hand layup, no good. Tip from Amos, no good. And the Cougars' struggles continue. 0 for their first 11 from the field. And there's an easy offensive foul call. Boy, we've seen Reznikov go flying a few times. He's so good at drawing those charges.
And the reason why he was able to get the charge there is he was able to hustle back in transition. Most of the time you see the defender try to go for the block or try to go for a steal. There he was able to go back and set himself on the block, and that's what happens. And a great job by Reznikov there.
So Cougar ball, Concordia 0 for 11 from the field in the early going. Those 4 points were 2 free throws from Amos and 2 from Reznikov. And here's Marian coming out with the full court press. Cougs break it cleanly as the Sabres retreat. Rudell, 3, air ball. Scrum for the ball. Timeout, Drake Diener. It'll stay as Marian basketball. Good job with the quick trigger and a 30-second timeout. So, Carter, what do you make of some of the offensive struggles so far? Cougars have gotten plenty of good looks, but just can't seem to get anything to fall.
They've missed 6 layups already in this game, and they're 0 for 5 from the three-point line. It's something that's really hard for a coach right now to figure out what's going on because they're getting the looks, like you mentioned. It's just now executing on the game plan. I think their biggest struggle right now is their aggressiveness because they're attacking and they're not finishing at the rim, though. But then on the defensive side, Marian's been able to run them into the middle of the paint the whole time, offering uncontested shots, and they've been controlling the offense so far in this game.
And now DeAndre Ross in the game, Carter. Ross comes off the bench generally, but the Kenosha native, so key to Marian's offensive success.
He had 20 points in their last game against WLC, so him and Wilson, like we mentioned in the pregame show, they're the 2 men that you have to stop if you're the Cougars.
Ross, 5 in blue, he's got the ball, and hey, he's got the best hair on the floor, right?
Yeah, I do like the hair.
I think that's my next hairstyle. What do you think?
I don't know about that, but
Could I pull it off?
it'd be an interesting look.
Here's Faust. Forward to Williams. The freshman Tavares Williams leading the break. Rudell thought about 3. Gives it up to Golding. Now O'Donnell. Cougars have yet to make a field goal. Passing it around the perimeter. Desperate for some offense. Here's O'Donnell with 10. Neal. Pass intercepted.
Another thing we're seeing right now out of Coach Kohler is he's making a lot of substitutions right now, trying to find an offense or actually a lineup that's going to give him the best chance of scoring and working together as a team. We've seen about 3 or 4 different combinations of lines.
DeAndre Ross to the can. Chance for 3.
And that was an impressive move right there to go cross up and then also float it in without using the backboard. That's a tricky shot right there.
He's got ups.
He did. That was really up there.
Serious ups. That's better than my 17-inch vertical. Cougar fans, Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Just over 6 minutes into this one. Cougars looking for some offense. Can O'Donnell provide it? No, another turnover. Back the other way. O'Donnell's going to chase this one down. Gives it to Gaddy. Now Hatton over to Golding. Zio gives it to Williams, and the freshman Tavares Williams kisses it off the glass for the first made bucket by the Cougs.
And that was just a simple look, seeing Golding. You're drawing the defender and then flipping it over to Tavares. That's just a simple play. That's a good way to start the game.
Dylan Geminer directing traffic, just checking in. 6'7", misses. And the 6'7" Williams pulls the board. Golding kicks it. Good movement. No dice, but an offensive board. Bounce pass to Gaddy, he's stuffed. DeAndre Ross plastered it. And now Marian on the break. Sam Greenthal pulls up, mid-ranger, no good. O'Donnell the other way. Both teams a bit messy. Turnovers, misses. Let's see if Hatton can change it. Bounces for Williams. Tavares puts it in. For all the Cougar struggles, missing their first 11, or excuse me, their first 12. They're only down 4 right now.
Both teams combined are shooting 6 for 29 from the field. So both sides are sharing the shooting struggles, but Marian's able to capitalize on the turnovers and the miscues that the Cougars haven't been able to do yet.
Ross in the corner, missed badly. And another turnover. So Carter mentioned the shooting woes. Turnover woes also exist. 8 combined so far. Just kind of a messy basketball game. What is this, Sleepy Tuesday?
This is a really uncharacteristic Cougars team we're seeing right now. They're not running a crisp offense. They're having troubles communicating on the defensive side. And frankly, they're not finishing at the rim, which is something they're usually good at, and they have the height advantage against the Sabres.
Gaminer misses. Golding with the board. Here come the Cougars, quick the other way. O'Donnell whips across court pass to Rudell. He pulls for 3, missed short. Cougars have missed their first 7 3-point attempts, including the sharpshooting Rudell.
Gaminer on that one probably got a little finger. He came up short on Rudell's shot.
Here's Matt Hickey in the paint. Goes up strong over Rudell and rolls it in. Hickey, the freshman out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Now 36 of 50 from the field this season. 72% as Golding misses. He doesn't have enough shots to qualify for the NAC lead, but that percentage, if he had the requisite shots, would be first in the conference. Eric Grigo from Benedictine, he's in the lead with 67%. But Matt Hickey over 70. The guy's missed 14 shots all season.
That's very impressive.
Resnikoff in the game for Golding. A little more size. 6'5" senior out of Wilton, Connecticut. Transfer from Lesley University over in Cambridge.
The only starter right now for the Cougars that has points is Amos, and he has 2. So obviously Coach Kohler's using different line schemes to try to get something going for the Cougars.
Here's Greenthal, a deep tray, and he bangs it home. Sammy Greenthal. And a 9-point lead for Marian. Rudell got it taken away. Jump ball will give it to the Sabres. Marian coming out with a lot of energy on a Tuesday night.
3/4 of Geisman right now is dead silent. There's only 1/4 of the gym that's excited, and that's the side of Marian, and I don't blame them. They're coming out with a lot of firepower tonight.
Luke Buffton with the ball, bounces it inside for Gaminer, the wiry Gaminer. Smooth.
And that was a smooth fadeaway right there, creating the separation and just floating it in. Nothing but net.
He was a 4-sport athlete in high school. 4. Golf, cross country, baseball, and basketball. Good athlete, and he's got a couple early points. Resnikoff looking for somewhere to go, finds Jones. Here's Kenta, layup off the glass.
A great job there by the small guard, knowing the defenders and not going over, but yet around up the backboard for the good layup.
How tough is that to weasel your way around a guy a foot taller than you in Gaminer, who misses that one? But Jones, that's no easy task.
No, especially with his height, but it's so quick just to be able to think of that on the fly and change direction in midair. It's a difficult task to do.
Hey, Cougar fans, Cougar Basketball is brought to you in part by Lutheran Public Radio. Listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at lutheranpublicradio.org or on the LPR app. Cougars 0 for 9 now from 3. Top of the key, it's Greenthal, who has a long tray tonight. Ball goes flying near the cheer squad.
Watch out.
Everyone okay down there?
Maybe some brushed up mascara over there, but no bruises.
Your mascara's off? Is that what I heard?
Nope. No, I don't have any on.
Kenta Jones the steal. Amos the three. Yes, sir. And now a skirmish. Hold your horses, folks. And Drake Diener, the head coach for Marian, runs on the court to pull back DeAndre Ross, who was right in the middle of that mess with Charlie Resnikoff. Right as Amos's three went in, Resnikoff and Ross were going at it.
And that's something Resnikoff has been known to do, is get inside the defender's head. And I don't know what was said between the two, but obviously Ross took a lot of hatred towards Resnikoff right there. So now the referee's got to sort it out.
Yeah, I don't think he said, "I like your hair."
It was interesting, though, because let's go first off to the shot. That was a great look there by Amos. That was exactly what they wanted to do. But we got a replay of the shot going up right now. So let's take a look at it. We're going to go all the way from the defensive side here. And you can see great shot there by Amos. But just right at the free throw line, it looks like Resnikoff kind of bumps into Ross right at the top of the key, and just a little misunderstanding. But no, one thing you don't want to do as a player is a misunderstanding is get up and start pushing and shoving.
Right.
It's always the second man that gets caught in any situation like that.
And in that situation, Ross kind of was the second man, and it prompted his coach, who at this time a year ago was playing professionally in Italy, to whip out the wheels and hold his point guard back. And right now those three officials sorting things out. I have a feeling we might have a technical or two coming up. It's Daniel Kuzinski, Kenneth Moreland, and John Safranek, the three officials. Seemed like pretty incidental contact between Resnikoff and Ross. It was just his forward momentum bowled into him like a truck. But
that's what happens when you got a big man crashing the boards and just running into Ross, trying to misinterpret Ross for trying to box him out. But the problem is in this situation as a referee is you're trying to figure out what's going on, because the first thing first, there was a foul committed by someone. That's the first thing, and it probably might be Resnikoff, because the basket count, as you saw the officials said, the basket count and there was a foul, so it might be on Resnikoff for running in to Ross. But then the second part, the dead part ball now, is what they're discussing is the technical, because they're trying to figure out if Ross is going to get a technical, or they're going to double T both Resnikoff and Ross. But there's a potential too. We might not see Ross for the rest of the game because of the pushing and the shoving that we saw between the two.
An intense reaction as the three men in stripes sort this one out. Meanwhile, right before the skirmish, Rashawn Amos put in the first three of the night for the Cougars, who missed their first 9. Now Concordia within 6. Officials over to notify both coaches and the scorers just what the heck is up. If you're just tuning in, appreciate you coming along for the ride. Home finale of 2020 for the Cougars. Rough start offensively. Concordia missed its first 12 from the field. First 9 3-pointers before Rashawn Amos buried one. But right as the ball whisked the bottom of the net, Charlie Resnikoff and DeAndre Ross collided and then got into it after. And that's why the officials are continuing to discuss and sort it out. See if we have any flagrants or technicals or even ejections. Lengthy discussion with Coach Steve Kohler right now. And let's see exactly what comes of it.
It looks like we got a fan ejection too there. Let's just see the officials pointing at a fan standing behind the Cougar bench and saying, "You gone."
And DeAndre Ross has been ejected from the game. Ross, the point guard for Marian, ejected. We see him escorted out. So we know of that so far. And for those of you watching at home, you see the action right by the scorer's table. Carter and I, our broadcast position's on the opposite side, so we're not getting that intel in real time. So we've just got to kind of react to what we see. And what we just saw was DeAndre Ross being taken to the locker room. So DeAndre Ross ejected from the game. He had that kind of wild reaction to getting bumped into, and he was held back by his coach as he pushed and shoved with Charlie Resnikoff. So Ross, who had given the Marian offense a nice little spark, 3 points, a couple assists and boards, he's out of the game right now as Coach Kohler continues to discuss with officials. Charlie Resnikoff, meanwhile, still on the court, so it doesn't appear Charlie's been ejected.
But mentioned before, it's always the second guy gets caught. So we saw in the replay that it was Resnikoff that ran into Ross at the free throw line, but it was Ross that came up and instigated the contact after the play, and so that's why he was ejected too. But now the delay on the court right now is dealing with a fan that's said a little bit too much to some of the players and officials and is going to be asked to leave the game politely. But it's a huge loss to the Sabres to lose Ross, the second leading scorer on the Sabres team. He also led the team in assists and steals. And we saw a lot of hops from that man too.
And Charlie Resnikoff right now giving a hug to Zio Golding. He's been charged with a technical foul. And he's dapping it up with his teammates. It appears Charlie Resnikoff's been ejected, and it's the final time he'll see the Geisman court. The senior heads to the locker room with a wave. So both DeAndre Ross and Charlie Resnikoff ejected, and now Coach Kohler heading down near the door. Looks like he's just grabbing some Gatorade. Pedron makes the technical field goal. So the official ruling, technical foul on Charlie Resnikoff. It's both free throws good from Pedron. He was charged with a tech and with a personal foul. So the technical for the skirmish after and the personal foul for bumping into Ross. And now it's Marian ball with an 8-point lead.
So
the tech, 2 ejections, and for Charlie Resnikoff, his final home game ends a bit early. It was nice to see Charlie share some moments with fellow seniors and Zio Golding and Rashawn Amos before waving goodbye to the home crowd. So messy situation, but now time to hoop. Buffton, no dice. Here's Kenta Jones sprinting the other way, gives to Hatton. Freshman turns, passes to Golding. The fifth-year senior out of Orlando kicks it outside, and the Cougars now on the perimeter with Amos. Hatton. 10 to shoot for Jones. Nearly fell. With 8 minutes to the locker room. Blake Pedron with the ball. Buffton. Paper-tight defense from Amos, and that went out off of Buffton. Nice job by Rashawn. It's Cougar ball. So here's Neil O'Donnell, senior, playing in his final home game. Braidwood, Illinois native. Has double figures in 3 of his last 4. Some clutch plays down the stretch a couple weeks ago. As Amos drains.
And that is a difficult shot there from Amos. You see him coming off the screen at the top and just swimming around and pulling it. That was also fadeaway too, so really skilled shot there from Amos.
Last time Amos faced Marian, he scored just 3 points. He's already got 8 tonight. Jones nearly came up with the steal. Now Wilson inside. Hamilton. Foul called on Concordia. It's against Zio Golding for a little shove down low. That was on Logan Hamilton, who just checked in for the first time, a Sheboygan, Wisconsin native. And most of this Marian team is from Wisconsin. 16 out of the 22 players from the land up north. Here's O'Donnell to Amos. Rashawn misses the long one. Pedrin, a freshman. That's Blake. He's got an older brother, Bryce, 2 years older. He's on the squad. Now inside, Hickey passes outside for Wilson. In the corner, Hamilton pulls and drains.
You see there, Hamilton is not a small dude by any means. 6'5", 215. You see the big man doing a nice three-pointer right there.
O'Donnell fouled by Wilson. The 5th team foul on Marian, so 2 more to the bonus. As Coach Kohler opts for a little more size, and the 6'7" freshman Tavares Williams coming in.
Williams putting together a nice little game. He's got 4 points and 4 rebounds. Nice to see the promising freshman get some good minutes here tonight.
He's teaming with potential. He'll be a big building block for this program going forward.
Him and Brett Hatton have seen the most playing time out of the freshman class so far, but don't forget about the Gaddy brothers too. Those guys are very skilled guards out of Kentucky.
And next year, Coach Kohler will look to all those guys. Also, Isaac Rudell, a sophomore. Landon Gladney, a sophomore, who's missed the last couple of games with an injury. Landon also out tonight. It's the future as Jones makes a little bunny, the senior with 2.
He's coming back next year, so you'll get 1 more year of him in a Cougar jersey.
Pedrin down low for Hickey. Pocket picked. Here's Williams feeding Jones. Kenta. Cougars moving the ball around the perimeter. O'Donnell near the free throw line. Spins, stops. Outside, Hatton. Bounces for Williams. Now Tavares looks outside. O'Donnell. Neal. Smooth move, but an offensive foul. Matt Hickey draws the charge.
Right idea there from O'Donnell, trying to get the fancy pass there, but Hickey just outside of that restricted area.
It's a shame that was setting up to be a highlight play for O'Donnell. Hunter Schultz in the game, number 14 in blue. He shoots 50% from behind the arc. Leading the Sabres. He's in the corner right now. Hickey with the ball. Outside for Faust. Bounces back to the big man. Hickey outside. Hamilton in the corner. Misses the 3. Offensive board, but nope. Faust was out. Cougar ball. Cougar fans, close or far, Chicago Motor Coach has your group transportation needs covered. Chicago Motor Coach is proud to be the official transportation provider of CUC Athletics. Matt Hickey will transport to the bench. Scott Paulus into the game. Marian sub Paulus from Belgium, Wisconsin, 6'5" sophomore. 5'7" senior Kenta Jones down the court, hands it to Amos. Little 3-man weave at the top of the circle. And now Rudell with the basketball. Isaac looking for somewhere to go, whips it to Hatton. Inside post feed for Williams. Tavares up strong, puts it in.
Good awareness there by Tavares, understanding where the defender is and just creating separation away on the pivot.
How about this defense from Jones, who finally fouls Bryce Pedrin. Pesky, full court defense for Kenta Jones. And now Blake Pedrin to the line. 82% free throw shooter, 5'11" freshman. Hails from Howards Grove, Wisconsin. And the first of 2, clean as a whistle. Both teams a bit shorthanded after double ejection. Charlie Resnikoff and DeAndre Ross both left the contest at the 8-minute mark. Double technical ejection for both players, and a flagrant 2 was issued after Resnikoff collided with Ross. And then the extracurricular activities ensued. Had the ejections. And after the Greenthal foul, it's Williams to the line for 2. Tavares Williams, Fox Lake, Illinois native, oldest of 5 siblings. Absolute beast physically. Not just on the basketball court, too. Carter, what's your bowling skill like? Like what?
Highest
we go out after the game. What are you going to get?
Probably 82.
82?
The gutter is not my friend.
Well, Tavares got a 228 once. Guy's a beast. Wait, actually 82?
I don't bowl. I don't golf either.
I heard you broke a few drivers back in the day. Jones, yes! Kenta Jones makes it a tie ball game.
Cougars starting to heat up now as they're on a 6-1 run in the past 30 seconds, my bad. But again, these Cougars starting to find a little bit of their offensive rhythm ever since that little hiccup we had with the little ejections.
Kenta Jones with the big tray and a timeout. We'll take a pause. 25-25 here on the Cougars Sports Network. Back at it. Hope you're having a great Tuesday night. This is Cougar basketball. One final time from Geisman here in 2020. Sam Brief and Carter Gledhill, our fantastic crew, here inside the friendly confines. And a nice 9-1 run for Concordia, Carter. Kenta Jones with the 3 to punctuate it.
He's been playing exceptionally well so far. He's got 7 points now on the night.
Now the steal. And Williams will have 2. So just as you were about to heap some praise on Kenta Jones, picks a pocket. Marian has led this game all the way through. Tavares Williams can change that. Cougars are still perfect from the charity stripe. They were 7 for 14 in a Saturday loss to Dominican. 7 for 7 right now. Seven for 8. Cougars lead for the first time tonight. Let's see how Marian responds. Greenthal bounces it to Faust. Trenton Faust. Over to Hamilton. Looking for the move. Airtight defense from the Cougars here. Hatton defending Hamilton. Try and post up. Whips it outside for Schultz. Stops. Fires. 3. Good. Greenthal's second tray. He's playing with a bit of swagger.
And you see Schultz just driving in, and Greenthal is able to move around the top of the perimeter. The Cougars having a little bit of miscommunication. That's why you saw Greenthal get that wide open look.
Jones to Williams. That's been the money connection, and now Tavares will head back to the free throw line. Kenta Jones, 7 points, 2 boards, an assist, 3 steals. And Tavares Williams leading all scorers. 9 points, hasn't missed from the field. And the freshman has 4 boards. He's the first in double figures, and now Kenta Jones some much needed rest as a fellow senior Neil O'Donnell comes in the game. 17 minutes in, we're all tied up. It's been messy, 16 combined turnovers and a lot of iron, but a good one so far as this three's hoisted up and missed by Josh Streeter. O'Donnell the other way, weaves outside for Williams, back to the senior. To Amos, in the corner, Rudell, probes, kicks back out to Amos. Now Rudell with the basketball. Feeds the leather to Hatton. Around the perimeter go the Cougars. Amos misses. Crowd wanted it. Here's Greenthal. He's got a hot hand from behind the arc. Bounces inside for Matt Hickey. Posting up the freshman. Hickey with the nice hook shot. Timeout. Coach Kohler. Full timeout here for Coach. We'll take a pause. 30-second timeout, so an opportunity to let you Cougar fans know that if you're looking for a place to relax following a big Cougar win, Doc Ryan's on Madison Street has all of your post-game needs covered. Doc Ryan's is a proud sponsor of CUC Athletics. Sam Brief, Carter Gledhill up here in the booth. Always a joy to bring you some Tuesday night in action as Concordia looks to close its home circuit with a win. And Carter, so far, a lot of messiness. How about the job Tavares Williams has done with 11 points? Freshman's really stepped up tonight.
He really has. He's stepped up in a much-needed time for a Cougars team, as you mentioned before. Started 0-12 to start the game, and he's surpassed his career high of 4 points he's set multiple times throughout this year. You can see over there in the bleachers, we had some young fans dancing to the music here in Geisman.
Always got to keep the party moving. I hear you're pretty wicked on the dance floor.
I don't know who you heard that from, but I haven't been out there in a while.
Here's Streeter. Chicago native missed. And now Amos the other way. O'Donnell. Bingo! Neil O'Donnell.
First Cougar lead of the night there in a big way there from the senior O'Donnell.
Cougars have momentum. That one tipped out. We're headed the other way. Crucial 90 seconds to come. A lot of coaches will tell you the way you finish the first half, other than the final 90 seconds of a game, final 90 seconds of the first half might be the most important. Let's see who wins the battle. Golding at the left wing, dishes to Rudell, the sharpshooter, weaves his way to the paint, turns, shoots, and he got it, plus the foul.
What a great move there by Rudell. Understanding driving in and not going to be able to get a quality layup, and doing a little spinorama there and laying it up to get the foul now for the three-point opportunity play.
Now the basket by Isaac Rudell. And foul time number 14, Hunter Schultz, his second team.
We best know Rudell for his sharpshooting from the outside, but that was a real nifty move. Now at the free throw line where he shoots it just under an 80% clip. Cougars have been money from there. 10 for 11 so far tonight. After 3 straight performances where they shot under 60% from the free throw line.
And talk about a swing of events, too. The Cougars are now 5 of 6 from their last 6 shots. Marian now 1 of 4 of their last 4. So big swing of events here in Geisman.
Greenthal. He's off. That's his first three-point miss. Deep three. too strong, but Williams, yes! 13 points for the freshman.
If you would have told me at the beginning of the game that Tavares Williams would be leading all scorers right now with 13 points, I wouldn't believe you. This man is showing up tonight for Geisman in the home finale.
Matt Hickey with the response. This guy just doesn't miss.
You see all the shots that he's taking, though, too. He's not more than 5 feet away from the rim on a lot of the shots he's taking.
Hickey 3 for 3 from the field tonight. And now perfect from the free throw line. Shoots nearly 75% from the field, does Matt Hickey. Freshman out of Oshkosh. And with no shot clock, it's O'Donnell's turn. Senior making his final home start as a Cougar. Brudell got it, and the foul. Isaac Brudell's fired up.
What a pretty play that was from Coach Kohler's whiteboard. You see that O'Donnell went left and then reverse pivoted to Amos, who drove again and then found Brudell streaking on the baseline of the corner. That was a fantastic play and one that's a great way to go into halftime.
After missing their first 12 shots and their first 9 threes, the Cougars will head into the halftime locker room on top. It's a 7-point lead right now. Marian will have just over 4 seconds to try and cook something up. Let's see what Coach Diener has up his sleeve. Full court press for the Cougars. Wilson with the ball, streaking towards the hoop, loses it, puts it up, no. 7-point Cougar lead headed into halftime. And the one man on either side in double figures, Tavares Williams, 13 points for the freshman, 4 for 4 from the field. In a wacky first half, he's been the shining star.
He has, and it's been a game that's been up and down, but the Cougars are getting the end part of that downward fall of the Sabres, finishing 4 of 5 in the last 5 possessions on offense. But again, let's note, Tavares Williams is also 4 of 4 from the field. So he's having a heck of a game for the Cougars. He's been crashing boards. He got 7 rebounds. Really something stellar in the bright spot for Coach Kohler's team.
7-point lead for the Cougars. Off to halftime we go. Back in 10. This is some Tuesday night basketball here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be right back, folks. was a wacky first half here at Geisman. Cougars up by 7, ready to roll for 20 more minutes. Sam Brief and Carter Gledhill here in the booth. Appreciate you joining us for the 2020 home finale for the Cougs. Carter, a lot happened in that first half. A rough start for Concordia, missed their first 12. We had a double ejection with DeAndre Ross for Marian and Charlie Resnikoff for Concordia, both being ejected after colliding and fighting a bit at the 8-minute mark. What are you going to most remember from that first half?
I'm going to say how the Cougars responded to the double ejection. It was at that point that the Cougars really started to get into it and start getting more aggressive. They were playing a better offense. They were running it, their whole offense through. Beforehand, they were chucking up shots. They were hustling everything, and there was really no quality in their game plan. But ever since then, surprisingly, it was Tavares Williams that was the extra spark on offense that the Cougars needed. He leads the way and has a game-high 13 points and has 7 rebounds, going a perfect 4-4 from the field. And he's been really a spark in this Cougars offense that's led to other successes in their team.
Carter, how about the Cougars' success from the charity stripe? 11 for 12 for a team that struggled a lot from that.
It was something that we said coming in needed to change, and it's sad to see that it changed now at the end of the season when they're out of the playoff race, but it's good to see that they were able to make adjustments and start getting back into a game plan.
That's Golding's signature move, that mid-range step back.
He's so good at it, though, because he's able to control that big body of his, and he's so athletic in the air. Not many players can do that.
Pedrin stops, passes inside. It's Paulus whipping it outside. Good ball movement from the Sabres. Justin Wilson converts.
Good rotation there by the Sabres, realizing there was nothing in the paint and just swinging it around. That extra pass, it was key for that layup to go in.
Rudell, he had a big 7 points in the first half. O'Donnell stops on a dime, out to the freshman Hatton. Good shot fake, and the layup, and the foul. Brent Hatton with that smooth move to the paint.
The only way you're going to get that as Hatton is you see being a threat not only in the three-point line, but then being able to drive around him because of that, and then causing the defender to come over late is how you get the block.
Misfires from the free throw line, and we're headed the other way. Meanwhile, for Marian, 9 points for Justin Wilson to lead all scorers. It's a team that struggles to score. Their two leading guys, Justin Wilson and DeAndre Ross, who's out of the game after being ejected, they average 11 and 10 points respectively. It's a Marian team, the worst offensively in the NAC, scoring just 65 points a game. On the flip side, Concordia, for all their struggles as of late, Cougars score 80 points a game, near the upper echelon of the conference. Pedrin gets it into Wilson, slams the ball, easy, down low for Paulus.
Miscommunication there on the defensive side for the Cougars. Someone forgot to pick off Paulus, and he just sunk in right onto the baseline for an easy layup.
Here's Golding, shimmying, loses the basketball. Julian Lynch poked it away. Illinois native back in his home state. Lynch sets the screen for Pedrin, who has Golding switch onto him. Nearly a 5-inch mismatch there. It's Wilson now, working on O'Donnell. Out to Lynch. Tried to get it to Faust. 8 on the shot clock. Pedrin, money from the free throw line.
Shooter's touch there by Pedrin, laying it in, a nice floater.
Just 5'11", 150. He looks physically outmatched a bit on the court, but he's had some nice shots tonight. 5 points for Blake. Corner, 3, off. Golding swoops in for the board, and Cougars reset. all the way around the perimeter. Here they go. Lots of crisp passing. Hatton. Rudell tiptoeing the line and giving it away. Faust nails it. Marian within 2.
Cougars starting to get a little too comfortable with their offensive scheme right now, and this is where we've seen the Sabres start to dial up the pressure, and that's when we see the Cougar miscues occur.
Tight man-to-man defense, but Amos misses the 3. Rashawn with 8 points, 2 for 6 from behind the arc. Trying to extend his streak to 20 straight games in double figures. And Blake Pedron's on his way to the free throw line after Amos fouled him. Excuse me, Zio Golding with the foul. And that's his 4th. Golding has played 13 minutes, committing 4 fouls, 2 points. He's out. Likely for the next few minutes. Here's Paulus with the ball at the wing. Handoff Wilson. Bounces it outside. Lynch with a nice save, and Williams with the steal. The freshman. Whistle blew. Foul call on Pedron. Cougars keep it under the basket. 2 of the stars of the first half, Tavares Williams and Kenta Jones, each in the game. They've combined for 20. 2 guys standing next to each other have about a foot between them height-wise. And it's the 6'7" Williams missing his first field goal of the game. Marian a chance to tie it up. Here's Trenton Faust. Floater, yes! We got a ball game. Timeout, Cougars.
Cougars held scoreless over the past 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Got to find an answer quick, or else this game could swing back in favor of the Sabres.
We'll take a pause here. 44-44, 4 minutes into the second half. Back in a moment on the Cougar Sports Network. .9-0 run for Marian, and we're all knotted up 44-44 here at Geisman. Sam Brief, Carter Glenhill rocking out to some Survivor. Carter's got the eye of the tiger. Do you?
We'll see.
You a classic rock guy, my friend?
I'm a little bit of everything, mostly country, but I do like my classic rock.
Country. Can you perform as well?
No.
I won't ask anymore.
Only place is the car. The car is where my concert will lay.
Here's Paulus. Smooth move around Williams, and Marian's on top behind an 11-0 run. The last 3 minutes have been all Sabres. Jones a little push off, offensive foul. Extended that elbow. Carter, what's changed here schematically Marian was squashed in the last couple minutes of the first half, but they've come out firing to take this lead.
It's been aggressive play from the Sabres too, but we've also seen them being able to switch a little bit more on the defensive side, where the Cougars were able to take the advantage in the later part of the first half was in that paint. So they've been able to switch a little bit more, change up their defensive scheme, and taking the Cougars to take the uncomfortable shots which was going on in the beginning of the half where they were struggling at first.
Marian's the worst rebounding team in the conference, but they are out rebounding the Cougars by 4. 22 points in the paint so far tonight for the Sabres. Points from the outside, no sir. Air ball. Jump ball will keep it here. Hey Cougar fans, Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Eric Geisman Gym, the home finale for the Cougars, who now trail by 4. 13-0 run for the Sabres. Concordia trying to go out strong here at Geisman with 1 game left this year. It's at Aurora on Saturday afternoon, but this is the final on their home court. Foul on Scott Paulus in the paint. Not sure how this one's going to end, but it's probably going to be a bit closer than last time Marian and Concordia got together. It was back at the end of November. A 25-point win for the Cougs, 100-75. Behind 19 from Brent Hatton. Right now it's tight, and now tighter. Dwayne Burns Jr. off the bench into the bottom of the net.
That's one way to provide a spark to your team, is coming off the bench with a hot hand ready to shoot. And Dwayne Burns Jr. doing just that.
Lynch's pass picked. O'Donnell, Williams, Cougars back on top.
And this is where you start to see the Cougar offensive train going. They're starting to pick up some steam, getting a little energy, and doing the little things that gives them the success in getting easy, quick points.
Rudell, money from the corner. It's Isaac Rudell. 4-point Concordia lead.
How about that swing of events we just saw from the Cougars, really getting home and applying the pressure. And you can see there, that was a forced timeout by Marian because they just need a quick answer for these electric Cougars.
Marian opened with a 13-0 run to take the lead. Since then, 8 straight Cougar points. It's 52-48. Concordia on top. Back in a minute on the Cougar Sports Network. Back at it, now the tables have turned. Basketball's a game of runs, Carter, but this second half has been a little too much running, yeah?
It's been two teams that have been trading punches throughout this game, and it's going to be the last one standing. It's going to come down to the wire here in Geisman, I feel, tonight.
Here's Justin Wilson. Cougars on an 8-0 run right now. That in response to a 13-0 Sabre run. Gaminer falls and gives it up.
Great pressure there by Burns, getting aggressive, going for the steal, causing him to fall over himself.
Sam Greenthal checks in for Blake Pedrin. Some more shooting on the court for Drake Diener, the first-year Marian head coach. Jones pulls and misses. Scrum for the ball, jump. It'll stay here. Drake Diener, the aforementioned Marian lead man, comes from quite a coaching lineage. His father and brother, both coaches. Dad Dick was the Fond du Lac high school coach, and his brother Drew is the head coach over at Rockhurst University. Some NBA in the Diener bloodline too. His cousin is Travis Diener, point guard for the Magic, Pacers, Blazers from 2005 to 2010. Good basketball lineage, the Diener family. Drake right now leading one of his hometown teams. Rudell can't connect. Ball goes out off of Williams, and we're headed back to Marian. Boy, Rudell would have liked to hit that one. He's been a hot hand. 10 points, 3 of 5 shooting, had a big and one from behind the arc to end the first half. One of the best three-point shooters in the conference. Greenthal, nice move, nice finish.
Great play there. Not only does he let Burns Jr. go right past him, but then he also fakes a pass before pulling up for a nice shot.
O'Donnell stops on a dime, gives it to Rudell, and a wide open tray for the senior.
That's a great shot there, great look. It was a nice play there because they weren't going to get anything baseline. Kick it out and see what happens.
Cougar ball!
I love the energy that Dwayne Burns Jr. brings to this team. His goal coming into the game, as you see, he's coming for the inbound right now, was to provide a defensive spark. Not only did he defensive spark, but he's been really good on the offensive side too.
Burns Jr., Maywood, Illinois native. He's his high school's all-time steals leader. He's got a knack for just poking it away.
And you see, he gets that from being aggressive and getting up in his grill. Probably one of the most aggressive defenders that these Sabres have seen in the conference.
What is it about being sort of a steal master? Because you can't just be aggressive, right? If you're too aggressive, you'll foul every time. I mean, you've got to be precise.
And Burns is being smart in understanding when to attack. He's reading he's reading the dribbles. He's understanding what the players are trying to do. And then on top of that, he's just being smart. You can't go for the swipe every time. You got to just apply some pressure. And you can see on the other play there, you got to let the offense do it to themselves and turn the ball over.
He's got a 3 as well tonight. Dishing to Williams. Scrum for the ball, ends with Wilson taking it up the court. Schultz in the corner to Gaminer. Whistle blows. We're gonna stay here. Fouls on Burns. Dwayne Burns Jr. with 21 steals tonight. Or, excuse me, 21 steals on the season. Boy, would that be some night.
That would be a career. That was record-setting night for the program.
A night for the ages. How many overtimes would we have to play for someone to realistically have 21 steals in a game?
How bad of an offense would you have to have them playing if someone wants to give over 21 steals?
Put me at point guard and maybe Dwayne could reach that.
Yeah.
Deep 3. Hatton connects.
Big shot there from Hatton. Great to see the three-point specialist freshman get going again, as he did in the first matchup between these Sabres in November.
Over the last 4 minutes, Cougars have outscored the Sabres 14-3. Brent Hatton, the latest Cougar, with a 3. Concordia shooting 9 of 25 from behind the arc. Good for 36%. Greenthal's got it. Whips a corner pass to Faust. Now down low, Hamilton bullying in the paint. Puts it in off the glass. Chance for 3.
That was just a mismatch identified there by the Sabres. Understanding you got the undersized Burns Jr. on just an absolute monster in Hamilton, 6'5". Great job identifying that, and then for just Hamilton to just go strong with Burns almost laying on top of him.
Hamilton at the stripe, Sheboygan, Wisconsin native. Now Sheboygan County, which is, of course, the county that hosts Sheboygan and a couple other towns in Wisconsin, known for its brats. They've got some mighty fine bratwurst up there in Sheboygan. And that county is home to the annual Johnsonville World Bratwurst Eating Competition. My friend, how many brats do you think you could handle?
Depends on the day and how I'm feeling. Maybe 3 or 4.
Amos with 3.
That one right there from Amos, that sends him over 20 consecutive games with double digits points. That's a fantastic milestone for a young man.
11 points for Rashawn. 7-point Cougar lead. Greenthal bringing it up the court. He's got 3 threes tonight. At the left wing, looking for somewhere to go. Whistles across court pass to Faust. Stops, fires to Schultz, right back. 10 to shoot. Schultz struggling, stops in the corner, gives it to Greenthal. Schultz a 3, got it. Right as the shot clock expired, big time tray for the Sabres' best shooter.
And that's hard for a team when you work it off, when you're working on the defensive side all the way down to the end of the shot clock. Really hard there for the Cougars. But way to respond there from Isaac Rudell on a nice layup.
His momentum just kind of kept carrying him to the basket. Schultz at the wing, inside for Hickey. Amos whistled for the foul, and Rashawn thought he got all ball.
I think he did get all ball. The fact, though, is that he came with an uppercut over the top and probably made it look like to the official there was a little bit more contact than there intended to be.
Foul number 2 for Amos, foul number 7 for the Cougars, which means Sabres now in the bonus. 1-1, front end good for Matt Hickey. Thanks so much, everyone, joining us. Our final home broadcast in 2020. Home finale for the Cougars at Geisman. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday night wherever you're watching from. We'll carry you home these final 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Amos a 3. He buries it.
The great connection there between Amos and Ben Parker, the senior. You see there, he gave him a little handoff and then set a screen, which allowed Amos to step back from behind the three-point line and get a separation for that just a second to get a shot off.
Parker, a Grays Lake native in the game for the first time tonight. Around the perimeter. Now Pedrin bowls over Parker. It's an offensive foul.
There's a little bit too much of an armbar there by Pedrin. And nice job by Parker realizing that he was going to be too aggressive and just falling down safely for the charge.
When you don't get a lot of playing time and you can make an impact with the little plays like that, it goes such a long way.
Well, how about the players tonight that don't even get that much playing time in the start of a game and making a huge impact? Talking about Tavares Williams, who's usually one of the later guys to come off the bench with 15 points tonight. You got Dwayne Burns Jr. providing a fantastic spark on defensive side, and then Kenta Jones is having a great night as well.
What a move, Neil O'Donnell.
Put that on a highlight tape right there. Superstar senior showing off the skills.
Faust responding with a miss. He'll have another chance though. 10-point lead for the Cougars. It's Pedrin. Fouled as he passed it out. If it's on Amos, it's his third. It's on Rashawn.
Cougars got to be able to contain their excitement here. Understand this is a big situation, up by 10. Even though you got momentum on your side, it doesn't take that long for the Sabres to get back into it like we've seen already.
Pedrin to the stripe. Hits 82% of his free throws. And he pulls his team to within 9. Williams in for Parker. Tavares has been a hot hand tonight. 15 points, leading the way for everyone on the floor. Also 10 rebounds, a double-double for the freshman. His team on top by 8. 7:15 to go with just 2 games to go in 2020. At Aurora on Saturday in the regular season finale, with Marian on its way to MSOE. Burns Jr. gives it up. Williams misses. Foul in the corner. Whistle on the Cougars. And it goes against Rashawn Amos. Excuse me, Neil O'Donnell. That's good news for Concordia because it's O'Donnell's third. Amos already has 3, and with Zio Golding in foul trouble with 4. Certainly Cougars want to keep Amos from hacking away. Now Logan Hamilton, Sheboygan native, puts it through. Last time he was at the stripe, we chatted about the Johnsonville Bratwurst eating contest, which happens every year in his hometown of Sheboygan. Carter, I know you're probably going to join next year. If you win, $300 and a year's supply of Johnsonville brats. Not bad. Not bad.
That's a lot of meat right there. You're having the meat sweats all year.
You got to eat a lot of meat to get a lot of meat. O'Donnell in the corner. 10 on the clock. Whips it. Hatton drains it.
And that was all set up by O'Donnell, him attacking the lane, but you can just see he did a no-look pass into the corner for Hatton, and that's why the Sabres were confused on all sorts on who was going to shoot that ball.
Burns Jr. the steal, and the finish.
5 points tonight for Dwayne Burns Jr. He's going to keep going at it. You see, just applying the ball pressure for the Cougars.
He's mastered the art of the steal. Wilson misses. Cougars a chance to step on the Sabres' throats. Hatton spins to the can. He's fouled. Last time the Cougars were on their home floor, a loss to Rockford, in which they blew a late lead. Cougars were up double digits late, And the Regents of Rockford just kept chipping away, forced overtime, and ended up winning. So it's a 12-point lead, 5.5 to go. But Carter, Cougs got to be careful, yeah?
They have to be careful because this Sabres team is shooting 13 of 15 from behind the arc. And they're also shooting 52% from the field in this half. They're definitely not out of it right now. The Cougars just have to keep continuing to apply pressure, and they'll be fine towards the end.
Burns Jr. almost got another steal. Wilson at the NCAA logo misses. Here's Riddell. Amos, 3. Air ball.
You want to talk about a swing of events, too. If you compare the first half and the second half of these Cougars, first half they shot 36%. Now, in the second half, almost a whopping 62% from the field.
Timeout on the floor. Back in a moment. 13-point Cougar lead here in Geisman. Back in Geisman, Cougar basketball is brought to you in part by Lutheran Public Radio. Listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at lutheranpublicradio.org or on the LPR app. Sam Brief, Carter Gledhill up here in the booth with our wonderful crew. Always a joy to bring you some Cougar basketball here on the Cougar Sports Network. This crew has done a wonderful job all season under the guidance of the great CJ Selner, producer Julia Beers, camera technician Ryan McGee. Always a joy for us to bring you these broadcasts, and thanks for following along tonight and all season long, folks. Here's Wilson making it an 11-point game. Sabres hanging around with 5 to go. Neil O'Donnell, senior captain, on the Geisman floor for the last time. Hands it to Burns. Down low to Hatton, outside O'Donnell. Misses. Sabres with another chance. Concordia not only looking to go out strong on the home floor, but also snap a skid. Cougars have lost 4 straight as Burns Jr. commits a foul. Thought he had a clean steal. Got to be careful. Chuck the ball into the crowd. That could have been a technical. Instead, just a personal. Yep.
That's a tough call there. I understand what Burns wanted to do, and you can see referee going over there telling him, hey, you can't be doing that. Not appropriate. And you already got one player thrown out with the tech. You go on 2.
Pedron makes the first of 2. The technical fouls and ejections that Carter just alluded to came in the first half around the 8-minute mark. There was a collision between Charlie Resnikoff and DeAndre Ross, and then a little fight right after between those two. Double flagrant foul and a double ejection as Ross and Resnikoff were lifted from the game.
Not to mention, too, both players are going to have to serve a 1-game suspension as a result of that.
Jones a heave. Yes! Off the glass, Kenta Jones.
Oh my goodness. Geisman just erupted right there.
Hamilton No dice.
Kenta Jones 2 of 4 from behind the arc now on the night.
And Zio Golding bowls over Hamilton. That's his 5th. Offensive foul. And the 5th-year senior Zio Golding will step off the floor for the final time as a Cougar. Golding, who transferred to Concordia from Lesley University up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where he was spectacular. Averaged double figures all 4 seasons. Came here to Concordia to finish out his eligibility and had a spectacular 5th season. 32 points a couple nights ago against Rockford, 17 Saturday against Dominican. Fouls out to end his career, but for Zio Golding, a great 1-year run here at Concordia.
And how much he's contributed to this team has been fantastic, and the leadership and experience that he's brought to a team that's going to have a lot of youth coming through in the next couple years.
30-second timeout. It's a 10-point game with 3:10 on the clock. And we'd like to remind you that close or far, Chicago Motor Coach has your group transportation needs covered. Chicago Motor Coach is proud to be the official transportation provider of CUC Athletics. Carter coming into that timeout, Coach Kohler did not look happy. He was smacking his hands with a lot of passion. Seemed angry at his team.
And that's one thing you're going to see from Coach Kohler. No matter what happens, he's always going to be coaching his guys up and making sure that, hey, you're still in this game no matter how much you're up, no matter what the situation is. I'm going to keep coaching you all the way through the game. But I still can't get over that Kenta Jones 3 from the corner. Unbelievable shot right there.
Kenta Jones has been a maestro from 3 this season. He's made most of his 3s. Coming into the night, he was 7 for 12 from downtown, and he's added a couple here.
And how about the big one he had against WLC in the earlier part of the year? That was a huge game where the Cougars won 116-113 in overtime.
Under 3 to go. Can the Cougars hold this 10-point lead? That's a nice start, forcing the miss. Amos stops, turns, shoots, and misses. A chance for the Sabres on the break. Their leading scorer, Wilson, up and under, no. Jones slows it down. Timeout. Coach Kohler calls his final full timeout and will step away for a moment. 2:13 left. We'll see if the Cougars can hold this 10-point lead right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back, folks. Looking for a place to relax following a big Cougar win? Well, Doc Ryan's on Madison Street has all your post-game needs covered. 2:13 to go on this Tuesday night. Appreciate you joining us. Cougars on top by 10, and Carter Gledhill had 5 different Cougar scorers in double figures, but what has surprised you most about this contest?
I'd say the contribution from everybody on the Cougars team in some way to get this team into a potential winning situation. And it starts
Exhibit
with that
A.
man. Unbelievable.
Tavares Williams, the freshman, 17 points, 10 boards. And a chance to make it a 13-point game with 2 to go.
When you look at the box score on each team, Rashawn Amos, 14 points. Brett Hatton, 10 points, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. And how about Kenta Jones, 10 points, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Everybody has been contributing in some way, and it's been fantastic to see that in the last game in Geisman, this team is finally putting everything together in one last competition here.
The Cougars' last win at Geisman, an OT thriller over MSOE on February 1st. And here on the 18th, they're just over 90 seconds away from putting it away. 5 to shoot. The senior, O'Donnell, up and under. He'll head to the line. See how quick Rashawn Amos went to help him up? The kind of culture that Coach Kohler's tried to build here.
Smile on both those seniors' faces, though. After the performance they put on tonight, they well-deserved.
First of 2 is a clean swish. Riddell out, Burns Jr. in, and Dwayne Burns Jr., another guy who provided quite a spark. He's so proficient at poking the ball away. Had a big steal tonight and 5 points.
Even
for
with
the Maywood native.
Just one steal, the amount of turnovers he forced that aren't recorded in stats. The man is a defensive beast and will shut you down no matter where you are on the court.
All right, the steals stat only tells part of the story. Greenthal misses the deep one. He's had a nice night from behind the arc, and the Cougs are a minute away from victory. O'Donnell streaking to the hoop, and the senior with the lay-in. It's a 16-point lead. Pedrin, a heave, it's off. Cougars are gonna win this one. The next 40 seconds, merely a formality. And it'll start with a Sabre possession. A 16-point lead for Concordia on such a balanced night. 12 points for the senior O'Donnell, one of 6 Cougars in double figures. And now with the shot clock off, Neal and his troops can dribble this one out. Burns Jr.'s got it with 15 to go. A rough start tonight for the Cougars. They missed their first 12 baskets. Rallied, and they're gonna win the darn thing by 16. Going out of Geisman with the win. Cougars on top.
What a fantastic overall performance from a team that has struggled with the 4-game losing streak and dropping 10 of their previous 11. But if we look at the box score, this team did everything right tonight. The free throws, they corrected that. They went 15 of 18 as a team. Their struggles in the first half shooting, they corrected that, and they finished the game shooting 48% from the field and nearly 42% from behind the arc. So a great overall team win from Coach Kohler and the Cougars.
The freshman, Tavares Williams, was the lead man. 17 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 11 boards, a double-double. And he wasn't the only Cougar with a double-double. How about Rashawn Amos, 14 points and 11 boards. His final game at Geisman. Going out with a bang as the Cougars rally for the 16-point win over Marian. Up next is Aurora on the road, but first, we'll hear from Cougar head coach Steve Kohler after a big Cougar win in the home finale in 2020, and quite a jump over the railing for Coach Kohler, rocking the sharp black suit tonight. Coach, welcome into the broadcast booth. Always a joy to have you after a Cougar win.
Yes, sir.
Coach, final game this season at Geisman, and you go out with a win. What does that mean to your team?
It means a lot. You know, I mean, obviously that things haven't quite gone according to plan. We've lost a lot of close ones. We've been drilling the heck out of that situation where it was a little bit closer. But we just talked about, like, this matters. You know, if this were in the beginning of the year or the middle, we would come back and go to work and keep playing. And so it was no different. And the guys, to their credit, 100% locked in, 100%. They want to finish strong.
You had a freshman tonight in Tavares Williams who really took this game over at times, a double-double for him. What did he mean to the team?
Yeah, he did. We've been talking to him a lot. You know, you can see him just kind of taking one step at a time. And each game, he just shows a little bit more. You know, he's got he's got an incredible ceiling. But what he did tonight, even the play at the end there where he kept it, that was supposed to go off a handoff, but he just made that read. But Tav is a kid that has a really high ceiling. He's a really good leader for as young as he is, and it's awesome to see him start to step up.
This is a rough start offensively for your team. You missed your first 12 buckets, your first 9 threes. What'd you say after that rough stretch?
Well, I would have probably said something different if I knew those numbers, but it wasn't that. You know, I mean, I took guys out immediately because we weren't guarding. You know, that was the one thing we wrote literally on the board. Compete and communicate 6 times. Usually we have 5 or 6 different keys. They're all the same. The guys were kind of laughing at everything. But then we came out and we're guarding ball screens and they're getting middle. And that wasn't good. And then we went with that second group and we started guarding. And that's what gets us rolling. You know, that's what gets us our layups. That's what gets us our threes. And to their credit, they started doing that.
On Saturday, one final ride in 2020. Your troops will head to Aurora. What's one thing you really want to see from your team in that one?
I want to see us take a step forward from this. You know, that's probably going to be one that goes down to the wire, and it'll be about how do we handle that? What type of shots are we taking? What type of shots are they getting? You know, and I want to see us continue to take steps forward. You know, this ends for the seniors, unfortunately, but our message has been this never ends. This doesn't end. There's no end to this. As soon as this one's done, we get a little time, and then we continue to build going forward. You know, now for some guys, it is the end. But they are responsible for building that foundation for what happens going forward. So I just want to see us compete and stay connected.
That's Saturday afternoon at Aurora. But for now, a wrap on Geisman basketball for the Cougars in 2020. And Coach Kohler, appreciate you joining us here in the broadcast booth.
This
Thanks
was awesome.
for coming up here and hopping over this fence all season long.
Well, I didn't split my pants or fall, so we'll call that a win.
All right, that's 2 wins tonight.
That's right.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank
As
you.
our post-game coverage continues from Geisman Gym, an 84-68 win for the Cougars tonight. 6 guys in double figures, led by the freshman Tavares Williams with the double-double, Rashawn Amos a double-double, Brent Hatton, Neil O'Donnell, Isaac Rudell, Kenta Jones, also in double figures. And as we bring Carter Gledhill back into the booth, Carter, one of the highlight plays of that game was a Kenta Jones shot clock beating 3 that he kissed off the glass.
That was one of the fantastic. There's a fantastic part of the game right there. You know, it's a great way to end the Geisman stretch here. I know it's been a lot of struggles here for the Cougars, and it's a way to end it tonight with a complete win, team win. So many players contributing so heavily. It was awesome to see the Cougars go out on top tonight from Geisman.
Cougars missed their first 12 shots and finished shooting almost 50% from the field. They missed their first 9 threes and shot over 40% from downtown. Great recovery, great resilience tonight from the Cougars, who improved their season mark to 8-16 with a 7-12 NAC record, and they'll take it to their final game of 2020 Saturday at Aurora in the regular season finale. For Marian, the Sabres dropped to 4-20 with a 3-16 conference record. They'll head back home to Fond du Lac for a contest against MSOE to wrap their season. For our broadcast crew, the man in charge, CJ Selner, producer, Julia Beers, camera technician, Ryan McGee, and my wonderful broadcast partner, Carter Gledhill. It's been a joy for all of us to bring you Cougars men's basketball here on the Cougar Sports Network all season long. I'm Sam Brief, signing off from Geisman. Have a great Tuesday night, and we'll talk to you next time. Adios.